we really have to understand failure as gamers. And it is important to understand because there's going to be times where you quote unquote fail. You fail to reach goals, you fail to reach different levels, if you play any video games, you know that there's times where you fail, you die or whatever it is in a video game, and then you have to go again. Let's use the video game as an example. Elden Ring, I've been watching a lot of people play Elden Ring. If you die in Elden Ring, technically that's considered a failure, right? Because you died, you failed, you did not pass the level. But you don't I haven't watched a single person who died in Elden Ring and was like, you know what, I failed, I'm gonna give up. So do the same thing in life. Do the same thing in life. If you fail, it's not technically a failure unless you actually give up, so you gotta push forward. What's up, dreamers? Welcome to Driving and Vibing. We're talking about failure today. I think it's important to talk about failure because a lot of people, I see this on people posting on social media and stuff, content creation. Now, sometimes I get burnt out. We're gonna go into a little bit of a story. Sometimes I get burnt out creating content and posting it. I feel like I get burnt out, but then I realize that if I stop, I stop. 99% of content creators are going to stop within the first 5 years, stop creating content. That's a statistic, I guess, something like that. Or it's 90%, I don't know. And you think about it and it's why are they doing that? And it's because they're not really getting traction, and maybe it's because they're not really enjoying it. There's a lot of reasons, but a lot of people think it's because their content's failing, even though it's not even gotten started, basically. And it's the same thing applies for video games. If you play your video game and you reach a level, right before the level you want to reach, let's talk competitive sports, esports. Let's say you make it semi-pro, but you want to make it pro, and you play semi-pro, and you just feel like you're stuck there. And then you're like, well, I'm not gonna make it any further. I'm gonna stop, even though that's a dream of mine. I've just lost my train of thought. I'm not really sure why. Anyway, it's not failure unless you make it a failure, right? So it's not really failure, it's learning experiences. So if you don't beat that boss in Elden Ring, unless you stop completely and you just never play the game again, it's not a failure. You probably know exactly, I learned something about that boss that I'm playing and why I died and why I didn't pass that level this time. And I'll do it different next time. The same applies for life and your health and wellness journey. And that's the premise of this video, is that your health and wellness journey is not going to be a linear, easy to follow path, right? Nothing in life is, or else life will kind of be boring. If everything was that simple, realistically, life would be pretty boring, right? Come on. So you have to understand that failure is only failure. If you're looking at it, and I try stuff all the time to try to stop eating sweets. I have a heavy sweet tooth. I always have. I love chocolate. I love cake. I love brownies, anything chocolate, really. And even right now, I try a bunch of different stuff to try to curb my sweet tooth, to try to, wean off of it and stuff. And a lot of times it fails. It doesn't work. And I still end up eating cake and sweets and whatever. But I'm not giving up, right? I'm learning that this isn't working, this isn't working, this isn't working. I'm not just saying, whatever, I'm a sweet tooth head forever. That's not happening, right? I curbed my sweet tooth once, I'll do it again. Failure is only failure if you do not continue your journey. Failure is only failure if you make it a failure, okay? We need to make that a thing, okay? If you have anything to add, let me know in the comments. If you like what you heard, I know you can't see me anymore, I'm in a garage. If you like what you heard, hit that like button, helps out the channel. Hit that subscribe button for more content like this. And I hope to see everybody in the next video. Also, I'm going to add a super secret word, and we're going to use the number 80, spelled out, EIGHTY, super secret word. Okay, thanks for joining me on this episode, and later, Dreamers.